Mask on?
So the ladies this morning are prepping a Norwegian breakfast. They're starting now with slicing up the vegetables. So we have cucumbers, tomatoes, and peppers. So another item in our Norwegian breakfast is meat. Today we have roast beef, turkey, ham, and salami. And there is our finished plate of assorted meats.
This is provolone cheese, so we're going to put provolone cheese on this platter right here, and also Havarti. And we just lay them out in rows. We cut them in half just to make them a little bit easier, and they'll fit on the sandwich a little bit easier for the person who's making it. We're also going to have Jarlsberg, and it's still in the wrapper, sorry about that. So we're going to have Jarlsberg and Geitost, or brown cheese, for people to slice, which all goes on their sandwiches along with their meat and the vegetables that were already previously pictured.
Is this the, no, the mouth.
Oh, we're going to do this. They're harder to cook because you're cutting the paper. So, along with the provolone Havarti, we added, or we're adding, Jarlsberg and brown cheese, or Geitost, depending on what you want to call it. And they're a little bit hard to unwrap, so just hang on for a minute. And you use a Norwegian cheese slicer, so it really works best on this. And you start from this the small end, and you just slice on down, and then you have your piece of cheese. So typically this is on the buffet table and you get to slice it yourself. So I will go ahead and slice another one here, and then slice a couple of the Havarti, or the brown cheese. Sorry, this is Geitost. This is Geitost, this is Jarlsberg. Same with this one. Oh, this one's a little bit denser, so you have to. Down. Place it on your board or your tray. And your guests will kind of have the idea of what needs to happen, and so you're going to have to leave these out along with your cheese slicers on your platter, and they can slice their own cheese. Sometimes if they haven't ever used one of these before, you might need to show them how to use them. And so we have our cheeses, we have our meats, we have our vegetables, and you already saw the pickled herring. And in a few minutes we're going to go ahead and put the bread out, but you don't want to create a bread tray until the last minute because you don't want it to get dry. So you put out a couple different kinds of bread. Right now we have Russian rye, we have sweet dark, and then we have a oat nut bread, but you can actually use any of the breads that you prefer. And down here we have the wasa bread. Lots of people like that on their for their sandwiches, and if you can see on the picture of the wasa, you can see a little bit of how they have done their sandwiches. And there's two types of wasa, light rye and sourdough. All that you can find in your cracker aisle. For the wasa, the bread obviously is in the bread aisle. For your Norwegian breakfast or your Norwegian lunch. So if you have a Norwegian breakfast and you have leftovers, they can make a mat pocket, which is a Norwegian lunch sandwich wrapped. It's open-faced, and it's wrapped in parchment paper, and then you can take it on your hike. Or if you're just at home, you can put it in the refrigerator until later.
Patty is preparing pickled herring. What is pickled herring, Patty?
Pickled herring is herring that's been pickled and brined in apple cider vinegar and a bunch of spices.
Looks like there's some nummy onions in there as well.
Onions, and there's some of the spices, pepper ball, and it is delicious.
Norwegian delicacy right there.